Welcome to part 3 of the Veroscope analysis of the Stephan Sterns Roadside police interview, where we will be analysing his conversation with 2 police officers. This is Stephan Sterns, if you don't know the case, and he was convicted of the murder of Madeline Soto, who was 13 at the time, and he has been sentenced to 21 consecutive life sentences. We're going to be analysing the conversation, so we might as well kick off straight away, and let's start the tape.
Yeah, but at that point we still had a lot of time to kill.
That's where we left off in part 2. If you haven't seen part 1 and part 2, this part 3 stands alone, so you don't have to go and watch those. But if you have time, please do. And if you are a subscriber to the channel, thank you very much. It's really appreciated. Ways which you can help the channel extend the reach of these analyses is hit the notification bell. That sends the algorithm its most strong signal. So he's mentioned that he has time to kill, and then we carry on.
So what did you guys do?
Drove towards the school, made a U-turn, came back, tried to do the McDonald's thing again. She didn't want it.
So where did you, one more time, where did you do the U-turn at?
It probably was right by the church because it was still way too early for school. So it was on that stretch of road.
Okay, so immediately, for those who have been learning statement analysis, which is a wonderful life skill, it essentially allows us to tell who is being deceptive to us. We immediately see deceptive markers. So so we have the repetitive cognitive strain and the probably minimization straight away, followed by the reason why, which we mark in blue, and we see we see a pattern appearing in this sentence.
And they have the meeting there, the separation, so that left turn where the church is, they make a U-turn there.
And then after you dropped her off, what did you do?
What we're going to be doing with these analyses is, once we've completed the analysis of Jenn Soto and Stephan Sterns, we're going to be correlating the two of them. In my opinion, I believe Jenn Soto is involved at a deeper level, either in the cover-up or in the crime, which I believe is to do with the motive for Madeline's murder. So by correlating all of the analysis, I believe we can demonstrate collusion, planning, and joint effort through their linguistics. So that's why we're going slow and we're being very methodical. And thank you for everybody's support in this. Let's carry on. Here, of course, we noticed immediate dropped pronoun and dropped pronoun again, and also this language told is strong. It's quite strong language. Let's carry on.
Stayed, talked to her for a minute, so made sure, is it all right that you're going early? Because it was still early.
Mm-hmm.
She said, yeah, it's fine. I'm going to hang out and wait for my friends to get there, which she does sometimes, so it didn't sound outrageous or anything. That was it. Told her to have a good day.
Okay, that was it. Do you remember Jenn Soto in one of her police interviews? She uses the same phrase. That was it. I wonder if in the planning this has been used and is on the tip of their tongues. That was it. So let's go into a bit more detail. So it didn't sound, outrageous or anything. This is dropping her off early at school, and she's just 13. And he dropped her off a block away from school extremely early. Of course, we know that he didn't drop her off at school. It's a fabrication. Really, she had already been murdered, and he was planning the hiding of her body. Told her to have a good day. So this is, even though it's fabrication, we see the I wished her, I said to her, but told her with the dropped pronoun is a lot harder. So there's hard linguistics. It didn't. So here we have the cognitive strain. If we had time, we would mark this in pink to show the sensitivity. I loved her. So told her I loved her. In forensic linguistics, very often when we see this demonstration of love, it can often indicate the murder time. In this case, it doesn't. Rather, in this case, it indicates more good stepdad, which is a common trait in deception. Good mum, good dad, unnecessarily demonstrating that. Let's carry on.
Loved her. She told me she loved me too. I turned around to leave, and I was watching her in my rearview mirror. She looked like she was walking in the right direction. She was rummaging in the...
Notice the police officers who are quite skilled at elicitation keep going back to the same questions. So if this sounds familiar, it's because he's already been asked this quite a number of times, and the police officers are looking for changes in the statement. But for us, what we like to, well, not like to see, but what we often see is in deception, the words remain unusually the same, and the story remains unusually the same and doesn't vary. There's no new information added, no new color or sound or emotion. It tends to be static, and quite often will be static over years. If the perpetrators aren't caught, then it will remain static over years. This is partly in a fabrication because they don't want to add more details. They want to stick to the simple story that they can repeat. Let's carry on.
Bag a little bit, like I said, but still sort of just shambling in the right direction while she was doing it.
Okay, so he's used this word before. He used, in a previous way of answering the question, he used the word moving. And here he's using shambling. So, and he's used this before as well. So on all occasions, he's using the language of the dead, in effect. I saw her moving. Isn't how you would describe a young girl walking to school. I saw her move. And shambling isn't either. So at the unconscious level, even though he's fabricating, he's using the language of the dead. Here, when we lie, the human mind doesn't like to lie, so it minimizes. So we'll often hear kind of, sort of, seemed, this sort of language. So individual flags, as I've said before, if you've seen Veroscope analysis before, individual flags don't mean anything by themselves necessarily, but when we start to see clusters of flags in a long statement and superclusters, then we can start to determine if the statement overall is deceptive.
So it looked normal, it looked okay.
Okay, and then what?
Okay, so here we have the normal factor. It looked, notice the sensitivity here. It looked normal. It looked okay. Um, so for those who are experienced now, and if you look in the comments, some of the analysts are brilliant. Um, you can start to see how deception is common, it's uniform, and vital for catching criminals, even in cold cases where we can. Stearns is already in jail for life or in prison for life without the possibility of parole. But for those who have yet to be caught, statement analysis and forensic linguistics is extremely powerful for justice. Let's carry on.
What did you do after you left the area?
I left to go to the local vape shop because I needed some more vape juice. They weren't quite open yet, so I ended up going back home. Waited about an hour or so, and then went back and checked the vape shop again. It was open, so I got what I needed there, and came back home.
Do you remember?
Okay, so here we have in here we have in the question the word left. So we put less emphasis on the word left in the answer, but normally we would look out for left, and although uncontaminated, about 70% of the time it would just be because they were in a hurry, but 30% of the time it's because there is information left out. So we take note, I left to go to the local vape shop because I needed some more vape juice. Here we have a reason why. It's unnecessary, so we mark it as doubly important. It's an excuse. And they weren't quite open. Do you notice this? They weren't quite open. Unnecessary language. So we start to get an awful lot of flags. Again, flags don't necessarily mean anything. So we would still put a flag here, even though it was contaminated by the question. But overall, the entire sentence, and here we have about an hour or so, so he's not going to commit to any timeline. And we'll probably notice, as we do here, right around a little after. So he's not committing to any timeline at all. Probably. It's quite incredible, isn't it? How we can start to see deception. And of course, you'll be able to see deception in your own life with colleagues, work colleagues, bosses, employees, suppliers, family, relationships. It's a little bit like red pill, blue pill. Once you can see it, you can see it. So be careful, it is a double-edged sword.
Or what time you came home?
The first time was probably right around 10, close to it. And then I waited here.
We'll have to put up with some transcript errors. So here it's not the officer, here the first time are his words, but we can put up with that.
Back to the vape shop. Probably finished at the vape shop and came back home again a little after 11.
Okay. You said the first time that you hung out was a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Was there when you got here at 10? Okay.
I think so. She might have been at her blood appointment. Let me double check. I know she had a blood appointment at some point during the day.
It's okay, we don't have to ask her right now.
Sorry, it was a blur.
So she might have been here, she might have...
Everything's a blur. I think we've heard this before from Jenn Soto. See, I think there's been a lot of planning going on. They sat in the car for hours and hours. They had a lot of time to plan. And I believe we're seeing shared linguistics. So when we're done, when we've completed all of the analysis, we're going to go back and we're going to find all of the evidence for where they share language and where they share the story.
not having here
I
the first
believe
time.
she was here because she was sleeping in as much as she possibly could because she's been messed up within the work schedule. So she had to be here because she didn't want to sleep in.
Okay.
I'll double check, but yeah, I believe she was here.
And then what time did you say you left again to the smoke shop?
Maybe after an hour or so, maybe 11 or so.
Okay, so again, maybe 11 or so. Entirely deceptive. Sometimes, even if times are reasonably accurate, we still see deceptive language rather, because their mind is in that state. They're being careful.
Okay. And then what time did you get to the smoke shop?
It's maybe 10 minutes away, so not long after that. Stopped in, got some juice.
What's the name of the smoke shop?
Eastman Online.
Okay.
It's just over off of John Young. It's not far from the school.
And then after the smoke shop, what did you do? Okay, for how long?
At least until maybe 12:30, 12:45-ish, something like that.
And then what'd you do after that?
I had a couple errands to run over on 192. She was talking about making a BJ shopping list. She just wanted to make sure I was back in time for us to both go pick up. So I was visiting some car.
So here, look, he's self-censored to both go pick up. We would note locations in a case like this. It's amazing how many times the perpetrator gives the location.
Card shops around the area, maybe two. I'm kind of a nerd, so we had a new trading card game release, and I was seeing what the situation was with it.
Around the area on 192. Do you see? Us. So he's connecting with Jenn again. This is interesting, isn't it? I'm kind of a nerd, so we had a new trading card game. And yet I believe in Jenn Soto's statements. The wasted money on these trading card games is purely down to Stephan. And the fact that he's stealing from his father's rainy day fund, which she knows about. So I wonder if they are together buying these things. It's interesting, isn't it? Here we have the we. He's co-joining with Jenn Soto.
Did you remember what places you visited?
Yeah, Coliseum of Comics. Stopped by a couple Targets, and I was going to go to House Rules Games down by Oak and 192.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't make it that far. I got a flat tire on the way.
Do you remember where you got your flat tire?
It was on 192. I pulled into one of those plazas somewhere. It's been about 10 years since I switched out a tire, though, so I made a lot of rookie mistakes and ended up pinning my thumb between the frame and the jack. Yeah, lucky it's not a lot worse than it could.
Yes. So he keeps mentioning 192 a lot. And through wonderful karma, when he was hiding Madeline's body, probably because of going too fast over potholes or country roads of some sort, he got a puncture. So he had to change the tire. And he said he made a lot of rookie mistakes and ended up pinning my thumb between the frame and the jack. I'd like to go back and review the video evidence of him with the police officers in her mother's office and see if he's hiding the wound. Because there's a possibility with strangulation that he was bitten. And they would need a reason why he has an injury to his thumb. Okay, let's carry on.
Could have been. Yes, we see it.
Do you remember the name of the plaza by any chance? Do you remember like what stores were in this
It
plaza?
was like right before you got to Hope, though, so it was one of those little strips.
Okay. And then
but I
after
did not
that?
make it back in time because of that. I thankfully had the spare and put that on and tried to get back in time, but caught at a red light on the way. She ended up leaving to pick up Maddie without me. I was about 10 minutes late on it. So I called her and let her know what happened. Apologized profusely because I promised I'd be there with her to pick her up.
Okay, I believe he's telling the truth here. So I called her and let her know what happened. Apologized, dropping the pronoun. Apologized profusely because I promised I'd be there with her to go pick up. Yeah, I still think he's telling the truth. Apologizing profusely. I think they were meant to go and pick her up together and then together pretend that she's missing. Okay, let's carry on. And that's why he was apologizing profusely, because of the flat tire delaying him. And then every light's red, as it always is when you're in a hurry.
Just sat and waited.
So I just sat and waited. I believe that's true as well. But how unusual. So I just sat and waited. So that means he knows he's waiting for something. And I believe they did plan to go and pretend to pick her up together. In the previous linguistics, in my opinion, I believe that the initial plan was for them both to pretend to drop her off, but Jenn chickened out and decided it was safer for her to come up with the hiding under the duvet story. So I just sat and waited and hung out. Straightened up the house a little bit. I doubt Stephan does this normally, but I'm sure there was stuff to hide. Was it? Then we got the call. Interesting, isn't it? So he co-joins again. Then we got the call. So his mind is still joined with Jenn Soto. And also, when you get the call, got the call, then we got the... So when you get the call, you're expecting it. You're expecting did you get the job? Did you pass the exams? Got the call is expectation. Just sat and waited ties in with this. But here's the interesting thing. Again, at the unconscious level, he's co-joining. even though Soto has gone to pretend to pick up Madeline. Okay, let's carry on.
We're going to get this way separated and come out, straighten up the house a little bit. So then we got the call.
What do you mean you got the call?
Got the call over and had not come out. So started getting worried. Started making calls
That had not come out. Do you see that?
to the family. If you want to look at, she might be walking to you. That's just when everything sort of started going downhill.
I want, listen,
Did you turn on the map the cell phone? The green one? I'm not sure what green one is. I noticed, I'm sorry, right? Is it normal for her to not have her phone?
Unfortunately, she's severely ADHD, as am I and her mother. So it is not uncommon at all, and in fact, very, very usual thing for her to forget things.
Yeah, you see, I don't believe that at all. If I'm separated from my phone, I go into a little bit of anxiety, and I won't forget my phone. I'll go back for it, provided I haven't gone too far. So I don't believe it's common for her to forget her phone at all. And the severe ADHD, as is he and as Jenn Soto, I'm not too sure how severe it is. Certainly the medications are needed by all three of them. But the reason why for the phone forgetting, I don't believe that to be true.
The better habit that wasn't screwed on. We're sort of careful about, writing her about that. We'll remind her, and then it will leave our mind, and she'll say, okay, and then it will leave her mind.
No, this is fabrication. She'd forget her head if it wasn't screwed on. And we're regretful about, reminding her about that morning. So he's co-joining again. And we're regretful about, reminding her about that morning. We'll remind her, and double sensitivity for the reason why. Then it will leave our mind, and she'll say, okay, and then it will leave her mind. And can you see how in deception we will often, under extreme cognitive stress for the deceiver, for the liar, everything, when we slow it down, it doesn't make any sense. The linguistics break apart. Can you see that?
And is she on medication for this stuff?
Normally, yes. She's been staying with her grandparents a lot this week while her mom was working. So she has not been getting her meds a lot. So she was really squeezing.
Where's mom working? What changed in her hours that she can still stay?
She's treating, so it's not a set schedule yet.
Okay.
It's just early this day, late closing time this
So
day.
different hours. Yeah, no, that takes a toll.
So I come up here, she needed help. I split my time between two places. And we did a visit. I'll need to be a little happier together. So.
it's tough.
Can we wear some McDonald's? So Because the school's up here?
Are we messing up the streets again?
That's how you- This one's town side, but town loop.
We're just trying to figure out your direction of travel, right?
I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with that area over there, Hunter's Creek.
You said you made a U-turn at the church, so you go see if she went to McDonald's again, correct?
Yes.
Did you go anywhere else? Because I know you said you had time to kill.
Yeah.
Did you guys go anywhere else?
No, we didn't go anywhere else.
Is there a reason why you would be back on John Young Parkway?
Okay, so the officers are leading up to, they've been trapping Sterns for a while with this really complicated, convoluted, going back to the direction of travel, the roads, the loops, the McDonald's. If you've watched 1 and 2, you'll notice it's been very confusing, and they've deliberately gone back, left it for a while, gone back, left it for a while, gone back. And in essence, they're trapping him, because as we go on with the analysis, it might drop into part 4, but at some point he starts going the wrong way and blatantly lies, and then has to, off the top of his head, come up with a reason why he's done a U-turn and is heading away from the school with Madeline still in the car, and he comes up with this excuse of, oh, he forgot the gate clicker. Off the top of his head, he came up with that ridiculous excuse. But what the officers are doing is trapping him in the lie. So that's why we keep going back to this direction of travel.
When we tried to go back to McDonald's a second time, we would have made a left over there instead, and we just looped around again.
What do you mean?
Just made a circle.
Made a circle how? Can you show me on the map? So this is the McDonald's right here, right?
McDonald's.
That's the McDonald's right there.
Correct. So go back down and then just straight shot back down.
You would come down this way?
I can't even.
Yep, hold on.
Where's the McDonald's?
McDonald's is right here. This is town loop. So this is John Young Parkway. You guys are coming up
Okay,
John
this is
Young.
McDonald's.
And the school's on this part.
Correct. Somewhere over here. So we come back out here, there, and then we can take a straight shot back down to the school and back. They connect. Town Loop and Town Center connect.
Right.
So
where did you make the U-turn?
the U-turn was on the street when we were going to go back to McDonald's. We drove down to McDonald's here.
Right. So just so that I don't get confused, you're going up John Young Parkway, right? You're going northbound.
Originally. Yes.
Right. You make a left at the McDonald's.
Go towards the school.
Okay. How far did you get before you made the U-turn? So
We got. Is this the school right here?
yep, that's town loop.
So we got up to here and then made a U-turn over here. Past the median.
Okay. So
We're back to
on
McDonald's.
Lincoln town loop.
Still time to kill.
Yeah. Do you remember in part 2, he used this phrase, still time to kill? So this is coming out at the unconscious level, and it's so common. It's difficult when you're new to forensic linguistics and statement analysis. It's difficult to believe how common what we term leakage is. But once you know, and provided you are sensible and don't look for ghosts that aren't there, genuine leakage is extremely common in deceptive criminal statements. Still time to kill. I wonder if my phrase of ghosts was leakage.
Still don't want the McDonald's, but I did give her a raspberry and cheese Danish.
So did you go through the drive-thru? Did you go
No.
inside?
Okay, so here, but still didn't want the McDonald's. But I did give her a raspberry and cheese Danish. What an unusual thing to say.
So go inside.
Where did you get the Danish from?
Oh, they're Pennsylvania that I bought from her. a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
So she
Okay, so he's expecting us to believe, oh, I had the Danish that I brought from home a couple days. So under under the stress of the officers who kept on going back to McDonald's and the direction of travel, for some strange reason he comes out with this. And then the officer asks him, where did you get the Danish from? Oh, I had the Danish that I brought from home a couple of days. As if she's going to want some manky old Danish, 2 or 3 days old. Raspberry and cheese. Okay, let's carry on.
wasn't without food totally. So we just continued past it again and turned around and said, screw it, just dropped you off early.
Okay, so you came back around to the McDonald's.
Okay, so said, screw it, just drop you off early. How horrible. This is horrible, aggressive. Well, first of all, it's fabrication, but we can see how his mind is working. Screw it. Just drop you off early. Absolute horror.
I mean, right onto the school.
Is that back on John Young Parkway?
Back on the John Young Parkway. It comes down here, and then here's Town Center again.
So then you took to Town Center the second time around?
Yes, and then we made a right down to the school.
Do you remember what time you dropped her off?
I estimated it to be sometime between 8:20, 8:40.
Are you?
Do you see that? I mean, this is a great demonstration. Buying cognitive time, I estimated it to be sometime between 8:20, 8:40. So he's not committing to the timeline. And he's not committing to any timeline anywhere. So that in itself becomes an enormous deceptive marker.
On your phone, do you have Google Maps?
I do, but I wasn't mapsing it.
When you're giving her rides, does she sit in the front or the back?
She sits in the front.
Do you mind if I look at your maps real quick?
Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks.
And just
Where it says music, this is aircraft noise.
to confirm also, you said, so the second time around, you said you went up John Young Parkway, you went through Town Center this time, made a right on Town Loop, and then you said you dropped us
Right here in this stretch here.
around this, okay, which was before the underpass.
Correct, before the underpass, just before the church. The church was ahead on the left, the underpass was just beyond that, the school was just on the other side of the underpass. So maybe,
On the left-hand side.
maybe a block away.
Okay. And you said that that's typical of her to walk that distance?
Yeah, she likes the morning walks when it's cool. She doesn't like it.
Okay, so again, here we have complete fabrication. Yeah, she likes the morning walks when it's cool. She doesn't like being seen, getting out of certain cars. So it becomes passive language. Doesn't like being seen getting out of certain cars. I believe this is a fabrication that Jenn Soto and he have come up with. This is their reason why.
Being seen getting out of certain cars, in school, it's an image thing. And she will sometimes like to hang out away for her friends. She's known to do that.
Okay. She's sensitivity, known to do that. Known to do what? because I don't believe you've dropped her off ever. She likes the morning walks when it's cool. Okay, let's carry on.
Do you want to take a picture of your history?
Yeah, it's fine.
And that time would have been, you said around
8:20-ish, 8:30, sometime between 8:20 and 8:40.
What time does she go into class?
She has to be there no later than 9:15. Doors open at 8. Doors open at 9, I think. And school officially starts around.
I think she has to be there. So what time does she go into class? She has to be there no later than 9:15. Doors open at 8. Doors open at 9, I think. And then school officially starts around 9:20 or 9:28, I think. So this is somebody that doesn't know very much and therefore is unlikely to have dropped her at school.
9:20 or 9:28, I think.
Okay. And when you dropped her off, is that earlier than typical, later than typical, around the same time?
Earlier than typical. We had made really good time that morning with the.
Okay, so this making really good time, amazingly good time, earlier in the statements and other statements from Jenn Soto and himself about this really good time thing is because of this fabrication of getting up super early. This is where the McDonald's thing comes in as the reason why they got up so early. And if you remember, they said they had made a plan. And I believe they had made a plan together. Jenn uses the same phrase.
The subtraction of McDonald's, we had more time than usual. And she said it was okay. She was very confident and convincing that it would be fine.
So here he's trying to make us believe that poor Madeline had to convince him that it would be fine to be dropped off early. She was very confident, convincing. Have you noticed that in the previous parts 1 and 2, he couldn't use her name and he still can't?
And you saw what direction she walked to after you dropped her off?
Yeah, it looked like she was moving towards the direction of the school like she was supposed to.
Yeah, it looked like. Do you notice this? She was moving, not walking, moving. You move bodies.
She's still on the right side of the road, or did she cross over?
She was when I left her, yeah. She was still on the right side.
What kind of phone is this?
S23, I would say.
I don't know how to work this thing.
So I barely know how to work it myself.
I'm an iPhone person.
No,
Is it okay if I go in your settings real quick? I just want to see if you're logged on to your Google.
I am not logged on to my Google with that, actually.
Is it okay if I check?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we have a comparison word. So he has been logged on. And in fact, we know he's been deleting and setting his phone back to factory settings with the help of Jenn Soto, who knows absolutely about the efforts to set it back to factory settings.
Does she have any other devices besides that phone? Any other electronics?
She had her school laptop with her.
Is that still supposed to be with her?
Still supposed to be with her, yes.
Okay. And what kind of book bag does she carry?
Black book bag with like grayish blue hibiscus flowers on it, like a print.
When she...
He has the same or similar side to Soto, doesn't he? It's that stress.
Is in the mornings, where does she usually put her phone?
Either in her backpack or like her back pocket, kind of wherever she just thinks to put it at the time.
Hold on, I don't know how to use this phone. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
I don't know, you've probably been asked already, but she's never ran away or been away for longer than a certain period of amount of time.
My guess here is the female officer is attempting to get into his phone, and I believe this officer is using a distraction and rapport technique here to comfort Stephan that they're not too suspicious.
Very dependent on us. I don't think she'd know what to do if she did run away. She's not the type. She's a good kid.
Besides the ADHD, is she diagnosed with anything else?
Yeah, she was tested a while back and had some symptoms of autism, so she's potentially on the spectrum there.
Okay.
She was officially diagnosed with it when she was younger, and then she was retested and said, well, she shows symptoms of being on the spectrum, but maybe not full-on autistic.
Yeah. I suspect she's not autistic, and I suspect that this is part of the excuse making as to why she might have disappeared. I wonder if Jenn was using her drugs as well, and I wonder if Jenn was well, I think I would imagine that between them they're collecting a lot of prescriptions.
Is this what you use to go places?
Yes.
Dropped pronoun.
Go places, search addresses, look at store hours, write reviews. It's a pretty new phone.
Okay, did you hear the stress and the excuse? It's pretty new phone though. So I imagine somebody is seeing that it's been reset to factory settings, and he knows there's a reason why. So the stress appears and the excuse appears.
Have we had any updates?
We literally have like 50 people right now on scene looking. I don't know if there's any updates.
Notice, have we had any updates? Have you found her? Is there any news? Have we had any updates?
Be the other detective because he's the one that is in charge of all this.
I don't think I've eaten anything since yesterday.
I'm sure you guys are worried.
When did you come back to help, Courtney?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Like, cause you live down south, right? When did you come back up north to help her?
I just got here this weekend.
Do you remember what day it was?
Sunday. Sunday was her birthday party, so yeah, it was the evening after her birthday party. Sunday.
Okay. Do you remember what time you got here?
So he was sensitive about Sunday, wasn't he? Didn't quite want to say.
On Sunday?
8:30ish maybe.
Okay.
Just in time to make sure that she was doing all her nighttime routines. Waiting for her mom to get home.
Okay, and Jenn Soto uses this same nighttime routines phraseology in her statement. I wonder if because they would have, if Jenn Soto is involved, like I believe, in my opinion, they would have been planning extensively, almost every single waking hour, what to say, what to do. And so they would share the linguistics. And I'm sure I've heard this before.
You live in North Pole, right?
Yeah, I split my time between the two.
Is that on Snug Street?
Snug Street,
Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense. You have a lot of Snug Street on here.
Yeah, split my time between the two.
Is that Broward County or?
Sarasota County, I believe, or Charlotte County, either way. It's my parents' house. They're old lady help these days, and they got a house full of poodles, and it's chaos. So I needed to come back up here and just get away from that. Between two deaf old people yelling at each other and poodles yapping all the time, it's enough to drive anyone up a wall. Just very happy to be back here.
Did you and your wife, when you guys were looking for, where did you guys look?
Me and her stayed local. It was all the rest of the family that mobilized.
Okay, so it's not the wife, and he is the ex-boyfriend. Me and her, referring to Soto, stayed local. By that, what he means is they didn't do anything. They didn't look for Madeline. They sat at home. This is quite a common thing to do. There are other cases of people who say that their daughter is missing and they didn't look for her either. It's quite common because if they know there's no point looking, then psychologically you don't. So they manned the phones as if it's 1970 with only landlines available. We stayed local, we stayed at the base, we stayed home and made phone calls. It was all the rest of the family that mobilized and were beating the bushes, I'm guessing he's going to say. But essentially, the two of them did nothing apart from when he went cruising, which he's going to lie about later.
Lights and was beating the bushes and
Did you guys drive together or separate?
I don't think we drove anywhere when we were looking.
You didn't drive anywhere?
Not that I recall.
Did you guys go anywhere last night? Is that media?
Maybe, I think Fox 35 or something.
If it is, let me tell him to listen to it.
Okay.
I don't recall. You have to ask her if we went anywhere. I don't recall. I was so zonked out on Ativan at that point. She said it was a wreck.
And this would have been when?
I don't recall us going anywhere last night, but honestly, At that point, my brain was mush, and I was on so many tranquilizers to keep me stable. It's just,
You said Ativan?
yeah.
Do you usually take that? Or?
Yeah, I have a prescription. I haven't needed it in a long time, but
Okay, so he's saying that he can't remember, he can't recall if they went anywhere last night, but essentially the story is they stayed at home and didn't look for Madeline. And we have deception throughout the entire part of this interview, as we did have in part 1 and part 2. If you haven't seen those, please go back and have a look at those as well. And we'll be doing part 4 tomorrow. So just to sum up, told, critical findings, that was strong, wasn't it? Lots of pronoun violations, lots of lefts, lots of becauses, lots of missing time, etc. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this part of the analysis of Sterns' Roadside police interview. Please do hit the notification bell if you can. That would really help increase the reach of these analyses. And I look forward to speaking with you in the comments. Okay, look forward to that.